So, the following video is absolute shit. It's not very good quality. I ramble all over the place and just go off on little tangents. But seems I'm going to put it out anyway. See if you can sit through it. Read some of the articles that are on my blog, which is linked here, the blog entry for this video, and I apologize for the quality and rambling, but I hope you can get my point. A lot of people in person, one-on-one, are good people, you know, but when it comes to, if the situation is distant from them, they're perfectly fine with brutality, cruelty, inhumane things. Perfectly fine with it as long as they don't have to witness the results of their vote, their support, their overall policies. So here's the thing about Trump and Trump supporters. We all saw exactly what he said and did throughout his presidency. Normal people who have a conscience and I don't know what else, find all of his behavior absolutely abhorrent. It's horrible. We all saw the speech he gave before his supporters stormed the Capitol, as he instructed them to do. Now, as this article in the Washington Post points out, he did not specifically say, go storm the Capitol and take your country back. He did, however, consistently tell his people, we are in a desperate situation, we're going to lose our country, there's been substantial fraud, and you have to fight like hell to take your country back. So, this is one of those times where, you know, my brain says, how can that not be interpreted as go storm the Capitol and violently overthrow the government? There's no other reasonable interpretation of that at all. And there's also a video from the time of the crowd where Trump is telling them they're going to walk down to the Capitol.
But I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Storm the Capitol. Right there. And Trump is telling them they're going to have to fight like hell. Go down to the Capitol and fight like hell. We all saw it. So he threw that peacefully and patriotically in there to CYA. But he's riling them up, saying it's to protect our Constitution, it's to protect our country, we've got to take it back, we've been wronged. We fight. We fight like hell. You're not going to have a country anymore unless you fight like hell.
Don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore. We fight like hell. If you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures.
What do you think that means? There's no other way to interpret that. So if you go back and watch that video, you will see every single example of the 5 elements of fascism. So, rejection of democracy, the rule of law and equal rights under the law, in favor of a strong man who interprets the popular will. You know, that's Trump. He's saying the election was stolen, even though there's absolutely zero proof. None of the court cases he brought were able to show any proof, so they were thrown out. So he's telling his followers what the truth is. Essentially saying, do not believe your lying eyes, do not believe your conscience, do not believe anything, only believe what I say. And they're going along with it because they no longer believe in democracy either. They want a strong man to rule them, which is disturbing. Galvanizing a popular rage against cultural elites. And everyone has seen Trump doing that. Everyone has seen it. And he's talking about leading us from one financial disaster to another when his entire presidency was a disaster. If you look, I don't care how you feel about it. If you look at the numbers, at the facts, the balance sheets, everything, Republicans screw the economy. They inflate the national debt. They give big handouts to corporations and screw over the working people. That's their playbook. I don't care what they tell you they're going to do. The numbers and evidence show they screw up the economy. Democrats get in and everything gets better for the working people. That's by the numbers. By the numbers. I don't care how you feel about it. So, yep, dominant, superior race and historic bloodlines. The attacks on people coming across the border. Jewish people are disloyal. You know, and Republicans love banning books to keep you stupid. So, yeah. Another part of that is creating a vague enemy to fight, and that telling people that he is the only one who can fight this vague enemy. Oh yeah, brute strength and heroic warriors. You've got to fight like hell. You can't be weak. You have to show strength. You have to be strong. Warrior. Blah, blah, blah. Disdain of women and fear of non-standard gender identities or sexual orientation. And Trump embodies all elements of fascism. Then there's this.
Never in my life did I think I would like to see a dictator. But if there's gonna be one, I want it to be Trump.
And then you have him saying in his own words,
He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
I want my people to do the same, talking about Kim Jong-un and his strongman dictatorship. I want my people to do the same. And now I'm not the only one seeing this either. A Russian-born author and journalist who's been covering Vladimir Putin and other modern autocrats for decades sees it plain as day. And I'm going to be copying this article into links and stuff. But he says accurately that Trump is worse than Putin. And as we all know, during Trump's entire presidency, the Republicans were bowing down, worshiping Putin as the penultimate example of how they want this country ran. Just like Russia. Corrupt, brutal, authoritarian fascism. In 1787, a journal had came out, written by James McHenry of Maryland, and he wrote of a incident he witnessed. Mrs. Powell of Philadelphia, referring to Elizabeth Willing Powell, asked Dr. Benjamin Franklin, "Well, doctor, what have we got? A republic or a monarchy?" "A republic," replied Dr. Franklin, "if you can keep it." And the current state of the Republican Party, the Trump Party, is one of the biggest tests to our republic that has come along in a long time. These forces of Christo-fascist have been attacking our republic pretty much since the document was signed, before the ink dried. Our Constitution was full of promise, full of hope, full of potential. It gave us freedom of religion. It gave us freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and a big promise that was not fulfilled by the original document, because we still had things such as slavery, women weren't allowed to vote, all that stuff. But the progress that we have made since then has been monumental. But the repressive conservatives have been attacking it. One of their biggest victories in the demise of our country was the 1950s, when they did away with our original motto, E pluribus unum, out of many one, and brutally inserted "In God We Trust" onto our coins and national documents. That has been one of the worst things to happen to the document that our founders provided for us. And I would very much like to see that reversed. And we should get back to the original intent of our founding document in regards to freedom of religion, where the government espouses no religious preference for its people, unlike they have us doing since the 1950s. And that's just part of the continuing effort by maybe a faction of the conservatives, and something that we have to fight if we want to keep. And here I am doing it. I don't mean go and attack the Capitol. I mean reason and educate everyone. Provide everyone an equal opportunity. Provide everyone an equal education. Provide everyone an equal opportunity. And are as equal as possible. I mean, people born into wealthy families have a obvious and distinct advantage in all walks of life. But we can do things to help those born to less fortunate circumstances to at least have a chance. And right now, statistically speaking, you don't really have a chance if you're born into less than ideal circumstances. Now, I know that conservatives and conservative Christians and everyone do not think that they are cruel, mean, vicious, hateful. They don't believe that. They think they're very loving and caring people. And in a lot of cases, they are. But as a collective, if you are supporting people whose national policies, whose national ideals are cruel and inhumane and downright abhorrent, then you are willing to accept that for your nation and for your people. So that's why when I say the Trump party, anyone who supports them are by extension cruel, brutal, hateful. That's what I mean. A lot of people in person, one-on-one, are good people. You know? But when it comes to if the situation is distant from them, they're perfectly fine with brutality, cruelty, inhumane things. Perfectly fine with it, as long as they don't have to witness the results of their vote, their support, their overall policies. Like in person, they're good people. But you can't really be a good person if you support lies, oppression, brutality, cruelty. You support and vote for that. You vote for oppression, you vote for hatefulness. Even if in your personal life you don't do those things to the people standing right in front of you or right around you. You know, you allow and vote for that cruelty, and that has an impact on your soul, on on everything about you. If you're okay with that happening to other people, right? Then you can't really call yourself a good person if you're okay, as long as you don't have to see it, and as long as you don't have to do it. You know, you're okay with it happening. And you vote for the people who are doing it. And you vote for the people who are saying it. And you vote for the people who want to implement it. Even though you don't do it in your own personal life. Even if you say you don't feel that way. That's how you vote. So that you got to have some of that in your heart, some of that in your soul, if you're going to support it. So, you know, you've got to look at the big picture, and that's just how it is.